Hi guys, welcome back to Creating with Mimi. Today's video is all about what we should not be doing in design, okay? I want you guys to stop doing these things, showing you things that you can do instead. Number one, stop using heavy, dark furniture in a small space. Oversized pieces in a small space. You have a small living room. It's 10 feet by 10 feet. You're not gonna get 2 sofas and 2 chairs in that space. So let's try to be a little bit more practical and get 1 sofa and maybe 1 chair and 2 small ottomans. That would give you the same seating if you chose 2 large sofas in that small space. But not only that, it would look better. It would look much more inviting. You'd have 1 sofa, 1 chair, and then an ottoman and a table in that space. If you have a small space, use light furniture, light wood furniture. So don't use dark wood furniture. Paint the ceiling white. I can't tell you how many times I've walked in a room and I know red may be your favorite color. Red is a beautiful color. But I've seen it on the ceiling, all the walls, the drapery, a little bit too much. So paint the ceiling white. Number 2, we're gonna stop doing this. Putting beds in front of windows. If you have a small space and you absolutely have to, then get a low headboard. Get a headboard that is a cane back so that light can still come through. A light colored headboard. Let as much light into the room as possible. Use a low headboard. Make it some type of composition. If you must, to make it aesthetically appealing, let's say you decided it's a smaller room, take the headboard out, extend it past the mattress size on right or left. It's a low upholstered headboard. You're extending it out. Now you take your eye from the fact that you're covering up the window and you're looking pretty much at the bed, and the bed becomes the center focal point in that room and not necessarily the positioning and the fact that you've killed all the light. This tip is going to set somebody free. We need to stop buying furniture without measuring the room first. Space planning. I don't know how many questions or calls in reference to space planning. And it is a thing in terms of making the decor come together if the space planning is done correctly. If you're thinking about a sofa and you love it, you absolutely love it, fine. Get the measurements. Lay it out in your room. Take painter's tape, put it on the floor for the measurement and size that sofa is going to be. That way you can actually see it in the room without buying it, right? You're gonna measure out the sofa, you're gonna measure out whatever chairs you're gonna have, a table, and then you get a clear idea as to whether or not this furniture will fit that space. Having a plan for the furniture placement is going to save you time, it's going to save you money, and it's going to save you a headache. A space plan is the roadmap to success in terms of design. I'm always considering the layout. I take measurements. What is this actually going to look like? Yeah, it's a step, and sometimes we get so excited we just want to go and buy the piece. There are some apps online that will help you space plan out a room. Or you can DM me and sign up for the virtual design. We'll work together and get you a design virtually. We can plan it out to make sure that you're going to be successful with your home decor, because it can be expensive. So why waste money? Why have a massive headache over it when there are things that you can do to make sure that you're going to be successful? The next design mistake is taking furniture, guys, and placing it up against a wall because you think it's going to give the area more space, and it does not. It actually makes it look awkward when you place furniture up against a wall. I don't care how small the space is, float it. Float a couple of the pieces. Maybe you will place a sofa up against a wall, but you're floating the chairs. Floating a space makes it look much more inviting. You want to float pieces in the center of the room. Even if it's a super large room, you're going to separate and create different conversation areas. People say, well, I don't want to see the back of the sofa. Well, then you can place a console table there behind it and some beautiful lamps, or you can place artwork or decor items on top of the console table. You're going to create something that's visually pleasing and appealing to look at. Okay, guys, this one here. Rugs that are too small. I get it. Sometimes we struggle with scale, but a too small rug, it really does make the room look unfinished and incomplete. So we want to go with a large rug. There is a video that I completed, and I'll link the video, and I'll link it below, and I'll also place it above as to how to choose the right rug for your space, scale and size and texture, because texture plays a large part in where the rugs are actually going to go. What is the function of that space? For instance, in a living room, I would always say you need a minimum of an 8 by 10. Start with an 8 by 10, go with a 9 by 12. Sometimes if I'm working and I have an oversized room, I will have 2 8 by 10 rugs and I'll have them mended together so that it gives me a larger surface to work with. Large rugs are actually a must if you have a multi-seating area. If you've created 2 or 3 different conversation areas, you need a large rug, and a super large rug. Hanging artwork too low, or not having the right scale of artwork. As a rule of thumb, artwork should be on center about 60 inches from the floor, as a rule of thumb, depending on the type of ceiling that you have. And it doesn't, I remember one time when I had a client, sweet as pie, and I'm walking in and all of the artwork was like right here, but my client was only about 5 feet tall, and it was just right about here so that she can see it. It was even below her eye level, and it was the cutest thing. That's a common mistake. Where and how to hang artwork is a very common mistake. Keep that rule in mind, about 60 inches on center from the floor, and you can go up or down, left or right. With the artwork, you can create a gallery wall. So if you did decide to have a gallery wall so what is a gallery wall? That's where you have artwork. Usually you see it in most common homes up a stairwell, or at the top of the stairwell, or below in a hallway. You create a gallery wall, and that's different size photos, different frames, and it just essentially, when it's all put together, it looks like a piece of art. Use some of your family photos, things that you want to see every day, and it doesn't have to be a portrait where we're looking just great. It could be an oops photo, or it can be the back of someone that was fishing, or something special, something that when you look at that photo, it brings a smile to your face, or it warms your heart. The last super major design mistake that could kill a room: not hanging your drapery panels properly. Drapery panels that hang this much above the floor. As a rule of thumb, it should only be 1 inch above the floor. Or if you wanted to touch the floor, it would graze the top of carpet. But keep in mind that if you decide to add a rug on top of your hardwood floor and the rug is going to go underneath the drapery, that is a consideration. Otherwise, the drapery just looks a little jumbled together. Drapery that doesn't go all the way up to a ceiling. The only time that there is an exception to that is if you have vaulted ceilings, okay? And you have an A-frame vaulted ceiling, or if you have an asymmetric vaulted ceiling, you're not going to take the drapes to the ceiling on one side, and then on the other side it's just below. You're going to find a common area, and then you would hang the drapery appropriately each side of the window should be at the same height. But let's talk about a straight 9-foot, 10-foot, or 8-foot ceiling that does not have a vaulted ceiling. Those drapes should go to the highest point. A lot of people place their drapery right at the top of the window. No, you want to extend that eye up so that you're adding volume to the space. It is an amazing trick to actually do that. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you made it this far, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. What are you waiting for? I would love to have you join the community. Until next time, make every day a great day.